Welcome back to another Pokemon Market Monday, your one-stop shop for all your Pokemon information. We go through last week's sales of sealed Pokemon products and Pokemon cards that are currently going up in price. We do also cover any big Pokemon news, like cards that set to get revealed, and if I do see any good deals, I always try to throw them in here too. We do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is the Minnesota Card Show. These guys throw the best card shows in all of Minnesota, and we have a big one coming up this weekend. This will be Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will be there vending and recording. 100,000 square feet, 550 plus tables at the St. Paul River Center. I think it is $20 to get in, but it is a crazy show. They will have a ton of celebrities. They have VIP. It's a blast. Definitely the biggest show in all of Minnesota. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. All right, let's get into it. We're going to hop to celebrations here. Checking the regular ETB. This is still going down in price. I'm just waiting for it to bounce back a little bit, which it looks like it did. A couple dollars. Last sold $260, $250, $254, $262. And then we got to check the UPC from celebrations. Last sold for this, $875, $850, $926, $899. Should be at $1,000 very, very soon. We got the Pokemon Center ETB. This thing's starting to level out. Last sold $395, $393, $386. So right at $400. What else do we have for celebrations that's moving? The Premium Figure Collection. Still climbing. Last sold $170, $165, $148. And I think that is about it for celebrations. Next, we have Evolving Skies. Checking the booster box here. Last sold for this, $2,800, $27, $27.50, $26.75. Will it reach $3,000 this time? Probably, to be honest. And then we got the regular Evolving Skies ETBs. Last sold for this one. This is the Umbreon one, $370, $375, $350. I still feel like these are pretty undervalued. These should not be the same price as 151 ETBs. Check the Pokemon Center, see if we got anything new. Last sold $795 and $813 before that. Not a ton of sales on TCG Player for that box. Also want to check the Evolving Skies 3-pack blister with the Umbreon promo. Last sold for this, $200, $200, $187, $185. I want to say I have like 30 of those. Next, we have Crown Zenith. The ETB is officially over $200. Last sold for this one, $210, $220, $222. And then, what do we got for the Pokemon Center ETB? Last sold for this one, $425, $459, $459, $449. Comparing this to the regular ETB, I feel like the regular ETB is a little undervalued. Almost a $220 difference. And we got the booster bundle. Last sold for this, 90. Oh, just loose packs. Otherwise, 112, 110, 95, and 100. And then mini tin display is about the same. Check the Sea and Sky. Last sold for that is 185, 180, 163. Next, we have 151. Booster bundle, still slowly climbing. Last sold for this, 84, 80, 93, 94. Next, we have the Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this box, $950, $900, $942, $984. And then we have the regular UPC for $151. Last sold $595, $580, $590. And then we got to check the regular ETB. Last sold for this, $440, $420, $440, $380. That is insane. Wow. So yeah, that is definitely more expensive than the Evolving Skies ETB. What else do we have here? The binder collection's finally up a little bit. It was at $125 for the longest time. Now we're finally getting a couple bigger sales. $144, $130. So that's good to see for that box. Otherwise, everything's up just a couple dollars for $151. Next, we have Prismatic Evolutions. Regular ETB is back at $100. Booster bundle's back at $55. The surprise box is down to $40. But the Super Premium Collection, last sold for this one, $249, $260, $240. I really wish this would get a little bit cheaper. I want to get 3 more. Then we'll check the Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this, $375, $355, and $399. Next, we have Destined Rivals. Checking this booster box. Last sold for this, $350, $380, $358. And I did forget to mention, I do have like the maximum amount of pages open on my laptop right now for Market Monday. Very, very busy. The regular ETB is at 100, and the Pokemon Center ETB is still climbing. Last sold $275. that has a tear in it. Otherwise 300, 320, and 315. All right, we got the Paldea Evolved booster box. This was at $345. Now last sold $446, $445, $448. Next, we have the Obsidian Flames booster box. Last sold for this one $302, $340, $340, $325, $320. Next, we have the Scarlet and Violet base set booster box. Last sold $225, $240, $240. Next, we have the Journey Together enhanced booster box. The regular one's pretty level now at about $250, but the enhanced is slowly climbing. Last sold $228, $228, $234. Next, we have the Surging Sparks booster box. Last sold $246, $280, $260. Next, we have the Temporal Forces booster box. Last sold for this one $245, $260, $240. Next, we have the Twilight Masquerade booster box. Last sold for this one is $318, $310, $300. Next, the Paradox Rift booster box, finally getting some love. Last sold $246, $260, $254. Next, the Stellar Crown booster box. So every Scarlet and Violet era booster box is pretty much going up in price. Last sold for Stellar Crown is $260, $250. Next, Battle Styles for Sword and Shield. Last sold $262, $275, $280. Battle Styles is not a bad set. Next, Lost Origin booster box. Last sold $840, $850, $837. Next, Silver Tempest booster box. Last sold $445, $448, $460. Next, Brilliant Stars booster box. Last sold $350. That's for the loose packs. Otherwise, $540. And that's about it because I got to sign in to see all these sales, which I hate that they added that. Next, Chilling Rain. Last sold $570, $575, $595, $555 with a picture. Next, we have the Darkness Ablaze booster box. Last sold $350, $292, $292, $340. Next, the Brilliant Stars regular ETB. Last sold $108, $98, $100, and $110. Next, the Obsidian Flames ETB. Last sold $130, $148, $115, $150. Next, the regular Paldean Fates ETB. Last sold $254, $270, $272. Next, the Lost Origin regular ETB. Last sold $150, $154, $148, $135. Next, we have the White Flare Pokemon Center ETB, just coming up in price a little bit. It did get down to $150. Now last sold $220, $198, $197, $185. Next, we have Black Bolt Pokemon Center ETB. Same thing. Last sold $198, $220, $198, $177. That does suck because I wanted to pick up a few more of these. Next, we have the Shrouded Fable Pokemon Center ETB. Look at that line going straight up. Was at $96. Now last sold $143, $148, $135. Next, we have the Journey Together Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this one, $165, $165, $162. Next, the Surging Sparks Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $289, $295, $278, and $299. Next, we have the Scarlet and Violet base set. This is the Miraidon one, Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $248, $256. Next, we have the Koraidon base set ETB. This is the Pokemon Center one. Last sold $289, $250, $230, $250. Next, Paldea Evolved Pokemon Center ETB. That sold $703, $650. Random sale at $390, and then the sale before that is at $670. Next, the Obsidian Flames Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $720 with a picture and a case. Otherwise, $718, $741, $650 with a little tear. Next, the Paldean Fates Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this $495, $481, $465. Next, the Twilight Masquerade Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $185, $199, $175. Next, Temporal Forces. This is the Iron Leaves one, Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $199, $225, $190. Next, the Walking Wake Temporal Forces Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $250, $280, $207. Next, we got Paradox Rift Pokemon Center ETB. This is Iron Valiant. Last sold for this one $199, $169, $154. Next, the Roaring Moon Paradox Rift Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $150, $225, $180, and $200. Next, Stellar Crown Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this $185, $200, $175. Next, Brilliant Stars Pokemon Center ETB. We're pretty much checking every single Pokemon Center ETB. That sold $180, $195, 187. And that is because they are all going up in price. We even have the Pokemon Go. Now this is the Elite Trainer Box Plus, but still, Pokemon Center ETB, last sold 157, 160, 140. Next, Astro Radiance Pokemon Center ETB, last sold 158, 140, 160, 163. Next, the Giratina from Lost Origin, last sold 290, 299, 290, 280 for the Pokemon Center ETB. Next, Fusion Strike, last sold 390, 390, 380, 389. I think that is the most expensive Pokemon Center ETB for the Sword and Shield era, besides Crown Zenith and Evolving Skies. Next, we have the Silver Tempest Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold 262, 265, 260. Next, we have the Zard UPC. Last sold for this 405, 400. All right, now we're getting to some cards. We got the new Victini Illustration Rare promo. I love this thing. This is why I got a sealed case of these. It was a $7 card. Now last sold 13, 14, and 14 for lightly played. Next, we got the Groudon IR. Last sold 84, 85, 75. Basically, every single illustration rare is up a couple dollars at least. Same with most of the special illustration rares right now. Next, we have the Squirtle. This is from Stellar Crown. Last sold 69, 60, 55, 57. Next, the Ghastly. Last sold 53, 55, 50. I think the Ghastly deserves it just because it has all three evolutions in there. Next, the Eevee. Bouncing back. Last sold 57, 57, 65. This card did get down to $48. Next, we got the Charmander from 151. Last sold 60, 48, 46. And no joke, everything in 151 is going up. Next, the Pikachu, almost more expensive than the Charmander. Last sold 47, 45, 42, and 41. Next, the Drowsy bouncing back, got down to $23. Now last sold 32, 32, 31. I'm surprised that card bounced back, to be honest. Next, we got the Bubble Mew EX. Last sold 658, 600, 515, 625. Starting to level out now. Next, the Team Rocket's Mewtwo is bouncing back. Got down to about 330. Now last sold 350, 500 for some reason. 340, 399, 465. What can we get this card shipped for right now? From a decent seller, 350. So no idea why we have a $500 and $465 sale. People are definitely trying to hype this card back up. Next, we got the Greninja. Got down to 266. Now last sold 325. Off center, 378, 360. Next, we have the Charizard EX from 151. Last sold for this card, 276, 290, 300. Next, the Zard EX from Paldean Fates. This card's going crazy. Last sold 192 for lightly played, otherwise 330, 300, 298. Next, the Pikachu EX from Surging. Last sold for this card. We got a near mint at 262 and 265, so it's just starting to come up in price right now. Got down to 250. Next, we have the Cynthia's Garchomp, also was at 200. Now last sold 216, 240. Next, Ethan's Ho-Oh. Replaced the Moltres, just like I said it would. Was at 140, now last sold 185, 170. Next, the Lily's Clefairy's even going up, was at 125. Now last sold 141, 140, 225, 150. Wow. Next, the Moltres is bouncing back a little bit, but I have a feeling it will drop more once we actually get the promo. But last sold now 140, 137, 154. Next, we have the Zard EX from Obsidian Flames. Last sold 100, 130, and 145. Next, the Gardevoir EX from Paldean Fates is even going up. Last sold 138, 138, 140, 125 for PSA 9. Next, the Milotic is moving up too. Last sold 99, 99, 95. Next, the Zapdos finally getting some love. Last sold 93, 85, 85. Next, we got the Venusaur from 151. Last sold 70, 76, 85. Next, we get the Baby Shiny Pikachu from Paldean Fates. Last sold 38, 39, 40. Next, the Shiny Snorlax from Paldean Fates. Last sold 22, 20, 22. Next, the Amazing Rare Rayquaza from Vivid Voltage. Last sold 16, 17, 14. This card used to be $5. And all the cheaper ones are going up too. Like the Celebi here was $2. Now last sold 5, 4. Next, the Umbreon VMAX. going up again. Got down to 13. Now that sold 21, 21. PSA 7 at 1350 and an 8 at 1700. Next, we got the Rayquaza VMAX Alt Art. Last sold 700, 750, 740, 720. Next, the Lugia V from Silver Tempest. Last sold 425, 400, 405. Next, the Dragonite V, probably my favorite alternate art, was at 238. Now last sold 499, 500, 550. Wow. Next, the Sleepy T-Tar is even going crazy. This was a $200 card for the longest time. Got down to like 120. Now last sold 271, 244, 399. I think a lot of the Vs are finally getting their love and are even surpassing a lot of the VMAXs. Next, we got the Umbreon V. Alt Art last sold 419, 320, 337. Next, the Rayquaza V. Alt Art last sold 299, 260, 450. Next, the Charizard V. Last sold 252, 250, 275, 280. I still feel like that's so undervalued. And last on the list, because I ran out of space, and this is the Mew VMAX Alt Art. Now, the other Mew V is going crazy. The Celebi V is going crazy. I think it's at like $80 now. So definitely check that out. There's a ton of alternate arts that are going up, which I'll add next week. But the Mew VMAX was at like 130. Now last sold 175, 250. So yeah, no joke. Almost every single card in box is going up in price. Falling Friday is getting extremely tough to make. So if you guys do see anything moving down in the market, let me know. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Market Monday. If you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership is only 99 cents a month. All right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Slab Sunday, where we go through the maximum amount of pages open with graded cards, and they're all going crazy, and we also do a giveaway, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.